good, man? It's OG Drake, this channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy on a day-to-day basis, man. And y'all check this out, man. You know, one thing important about this spiritual journey that you may be on is not to ever forget yourself. Now, I got to break down a lot of things because a lot of people might not understand. You the one that actually chose your family, the day that you want to be born and all that. Now, I was an unaware thing, so it's not like something where, you know how we looking through our eyes right now and trying to pick something. But no, it was made more for the vibrations that you felt or more of the things that you wanted to deal with or not deal with based off of your past life, if you had a past life. If not, you're basically just inside of a whip of what you thought as a spirit was more interesting in what suited you, your capabilities. So when we get into these things, all it is just saying is make sure you know who you are, and not only who you are in this lifetime, but who you was in multiple lifetimes before. So who you was in your lives. Now, the thing about this is you might not understand it to the fullest until you start actually getting in tune with yourself and being able to express it to the world and see how the world receive it. But at the same time, this is where we talk about why is it a difference, even when you look in astrology, of a cut between the first 6 houses and the 7th to the 12th house, right? You got to look at it like this. You have your personal things where you're in the shadow, you're building this stuff. Now, once you build these things, you're going to have to bring it to the foreplay for it to be actually existent. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of times people don't realize just because something doesn't exist doesn't mean that it's not something there. So a lot of times this is where people get the spiritual realm confused of they thinking like the spiritual realm, like, so boom, you're just sitting somewhere like, yeah, I'm a spirit with all the other spirits in another body and da-da-da. That's just the reason why it caused so much confusion when, you know, like just saying, for example, when Christians try to explain someone being dead and to make it look like the ghost look just like the person that died. You get what I'm saying? And more of things like that, it make it like it's a whole nother world that you have to participate in. But it's just ran just like this world. Let me tell y'all right now, that's a quick version of getting you to hell. So this is the reason why we be trying to bring these things back up, because we have to remember who we was. Now, when you think about, you know, before all of this stuff happened with the lands being taken over and stuff like that, you got to remember it was already people that was living, you know, without these things to come amongst them. And these things that we see today, cars and all that, would have got here in the world regardless, but it would have just took a different turn to get here. You get what I'm saying? It would have been more of a trade value, and would have probably been more of an equal thing instead of it being so unbalanced. So now that's another thing I want to talk about, because this realm and reality that we're living is based off of balance. Now, the thing about it is you will have a hard time balancing yourself if you don't know have a map of who you actually are. So the map, what like a lot of people like to say, is like the natal will and stuff like that, right? And a lot of people might not believe in that, but that's on you. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to believe in it. Like basically when who you are, when you read it and understand the placement of the signs and where they place that and things like that, you will understand that it's not telling you who you are. You are telling it it's not telling you who you are. You are telling it who you are. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, this is who I am. So when you start understanding, it's more of a mathematics and the studies of how the mind works. So when we start looking at even the anatomy, that's how the body works. You get what I'm saying? The astronomy is how the planets work. So when we start to understand how all of these things could, you know, go together, it's like a combination code. And by you knowing, you know, even if you don't know how to turn the keys or the combination the right way, you might turn it 2 times left instead of 3 times left, 2 times right instead of 2 times right and then the left. You know what I'm saying? You might mess up on the way that you're turning it, but if you have at least the tools of understanding, which is like the right starting point, you can understand sometimes that don't even make sense in that combination. That's repeating the code. That's not actually improving or getting closer to figuring out what I actually came here for. What is my actual purpose? So, you know, when you get this natal will or whatever, reading, however you want to look at it, you start looking at these placements of this planet. You don't got to necessarily have nobody do no reading for you, especially when you start actually learning it without no bias of you trying to hold something in. Because anytime you try to hold something, it's gonna mess up the actual intelligence that you're trying to produce. So the knowledge kind of fight the intelligence. So you be like, no, I was taught this in a book. No. So you don't understand how the book is made because you're more worried about learning from the book, not teaching a book or teaching people how you came up with these ideas. So now the thing about this is this also goes against all religion of picking of which God supposed to be represented with which and all this here, especially even with the new religion, which would be one of the things of like, you know, people saying chosen one. This lets you know it's not actually a chosen one thing. You actually do have a time where people might not be ready, but you also have a time where someone is beyond ready, where it's kind of like they're overdue. They don't miss things because they're spiritually back because they're so worried about the physical life in front of them. So you got things of like, you know, that kick in like survival. And this is a lot of places like churches and things like that use their Christianity power to try to get like, hey, I'm hurt and though God said help us and da-da-da, you know, and they use these powers to get what they can out of it. Now, if you really start paying attention to it, even the people that's in these religions and stuff play small portions of that same energy. Like the chosen one energy even play out like, you know, one of those people that's super self-entitled, where they think everything is about them and nothing else works. No, we all is connected. When you realize how we're connected and you understand the web, you start understanding, okay, that's the reason why this works like this. You know what I'm saying? And to start putting together the pieces. So not only do you not have the combination for yourself, but you also have the combination of how the world is. So you can't get deceived by things. No matter how good that politician sound, no matter how good that entertainer sound, no matter how good that educational teacher or scientist broke it down and put things in, no matter how good they ran that business, all of it got something to do with the way that they took over, copied it, and flipped it around and flipped the script. So now if you understanding even their own books where they say they took the good and turned it bad and the bad and turned it good, you can start understanding how they took something good of people understanding their mind and made it like, okay, you need to understand everything in the world but your damn mind. You're going to have everything in the world to worry about but your damn self. You better worry about your stability. You better worry about your shelter. You know what I'm saying? You better worry about your food. You better worry about, you know, how you're going to keep these things up to par. So when they see you worry more about these, now you're taking your sixth dimension or energy, which we all have access to. It ain't like, okay, oh, I'm in the ninth dimension, nobody else can come here. No, that's back to that energy of being just over egotistical. Now, there's a lot of times where people may sound the same, but you got to pay attention to little things like this. Now, I'm not finna sit up here and be like, oh yeah, the stuff I'm doing, nobody can ever do in life. No, we all supposed to have the ability to be able to just tap in and be able to even transfer things and make it transmutable in a good way, even when it's something negative. You get what I'm saying? Or even when it's something positive of how they're trying to feed it to psyop people so we can see the negativity behind it. You get what I'm saying? So this help you be able to see the angels and demons is what I'm saying, according to the map or the square or however something want to be cut. You get what I'm saying? So we able to see each degree of, okay, me, this is who I am. I can't get caught up into that over there because that goes against what I got going. Yeah, it might be a moment where I might need to go into the uncomfortableness, but right now ain't the time. You know what I'm saying? Bam, there go to astronomy. Where